Morning and welcome to today's episode of Agentic AI and Clinical Trials, a look at how Maxis IT's AI agents are driving revolution within the industry. I'm Nicole Powell with Maxis IT, and I'm thrilled to dive into an exciting conversation about the transformative power of Agentic AI and Clinical Trials. After Maxis IT's webinar on Agentic AI last month, we've received many questions piquing the curiosity to dive deeper into Agentic AI. Therefore, today we're shedding light on how Maxis IT's AI agents are driving a revolution in the industry by enhancing efficiency, accuracy, and innovation. Joining me as a special guest, who has been at the helm of Maxis IT since 2003, steering the company's visionary journey, please welcome Moulik Shah, CEO of Maxis IT. Thank you for joining us today, Moulik.
Thank you, Nicole. It's great pleasure to be here, and would love to talk about Agentic AI and share more information about where Maxis IT is taking this paradigm forward and how it is transforming the clinical trial industry.
Well, great. That's wonderful. And let's explore a little bit more about how your leadership and cutting edge technology with Agentic AI are reshaping the future of clinical trials. So jumping right in. Moulik, if you could help explain a little bit for us, what exactly is Agentic AI and why does it matter in clinical trials?
Interesting. I know there's a lot going on about Agentic AI discussions across various social media conferences, but yeah, Agentic AI is the next technological advancement on top of generative AI. Historically, we have seen traditional automation technology. So what it does is automation is largely very specific, narrow, and rule-based in many conditions. And then AI drove that automation in a more predictable and pattern-based manner. Generative AI came into the industry with the power of creating generative skills around different modalities that offered and powered this kind of automation with more intelligent insight retrieved from large language model. Now, Agentic AI is taking it forward. Agentic AI is using that concept of traditional automation, and it is leveraging the power of generative AI LLMs that has vast pool of intelligence to drive more intelligent automation. So Agentic AI is nothing but a goal-oriented entity that has ability to reason, collaborate, act, and also adapt as the complexity of process changes or new scenarios emerge as a part of the process. So Agentic AI, you can think of as a software entity that has an awareness, that has an intelligence, and that is given a specific goal to execute a task, and it does it either in autonomous fashion or by keeping human in the loop or by collaborating with it. So ideally, you can imagine self-driving cars, right? In self-driving cars, it has system of peripheral vision as well as GPS, and it has a goal that allows a human to go from one distance to another distance. So ideally, self-driving car is nothing but an agent. Now, imagine many such self-driving cars on the road directed by a superior system called traffic control system. And if you put that system to direct many such self-driving cars in a concurrent manner to improve the flow, reduce the collision, and also make many people go to their destination in a safely manner. So that is called an orchestration, and it's an orchestration of multiple agents. So this Agentic AI is a combination of different agents working for a specific goal, and there is an orchestration aspect of it that makes multiple agents work together to achieve bigger goal as a part of the business process. Now think of clinical trials where we stand today. It's extremely complex with different types of designs and increasing data volume. Also, it involves a lot of dynamic decision making within the clinical trial, as there are different scenarios that emerge and different stakeholders have to react to different scenarios and make decisions. I mean, our industry has been tackling this challenge across data as well as decision making and running the process seamlessly by moving from historical process of paper-based to electronic and using different types of systems like data management systems or risk-based quality monitoring systems, etc. But these systems are not cut to improve the operational complexity and operational efficiencies within clinical trials. And also, most of the systems have more of a reactive decision-making model that, at the end of the day, creates more risk in a delayed decision-making and continue to increase the cost of running the clinical trial. And if you think of today's pharmaceutical industries changing business model, a lot of AI is already changing the drug discovery aspect of life sciences. And now we are seeing that faster breakthrough, new drug designs are coming using AI. Now, at this fast pace of drug discovery and design, if we continue to leverage the historical legacy way of conducting clinical trials, it's a wrong combination in a business model. You can't really marry AI with the legacy, right? So there is a huge onus on clinical trial operating procedures where they have to transform this model. Now, imagine the future is all about running many such tiny trials. As the drug discovery is improved, industry wants to experiment more and more. You can't afford to rely on one blockbuster to go to market. You want to experiment more, fail fast, and then go to market with the precise and expected outcome so that you have success. And this scale of many such tiny trials, many such precision-oriented trials, you can't run on this legacy operating model. You need to have a new operating model that drives this future of productivity. And at the end of the day, if you look around, productivity is cash. If you reduce time per task, and if that scales across many such tasks and the entire process, you can imagine people or the human running those processes, the throughput of that per human capacity is improved. And when the throughput increases, your cost goes down, and per unit work is more cost effective in the interest of clinical trials. Now, where we are today, we all know Moore's law, and today we are more like opposite of Moore's law. It's more like Erome's law, where cost is continuously increasing and productivity is declining. So in this kind of scenario, industry really need to think differently about its operating model and take advantage of this agentic AI technology to drive operational efficiencies and reduce the cost investments as well as improve the per human throughput. So, and bottom line, I would say one thing: the best time to adopt agentic AI was yesterday, and the second best time is today. So if we delay more, we are losing the opportunities that are out there.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that and building a foundation for our podcast. Looking directly at Maxis IT, what are Maxis IT's AI agents and what functions do they serve?
Good question. So Maxis IT, now we identify ourselves as Maxis AI, and that came with an intention to change organization as an AI first company. And with that vision, we are reimagining the clinical research operating model. And when we reimagine this, AI becomes the heart of this new operating model. And this operating model will be comprised of a hybrid workforce ecosystem. And you can imagine uh, digital workers like AI agents working in a seamless collaboration with AI augmented human workers who are knowledge workers. So we are shifting the traditional linear model of this industry, wherein each task has X number of resource requirement. If the complexity of task increases or number of tasks increases, you need more resources. So we are shifting that model to doing more with less model. So with the intention of reversing this Erome's law, we are launching this Maxis AI platform. It's a fundamentally enterprise grade agentic AI platform. And we have built several agents that are verified agents to support variety of different tasks across clinical trials, starting from content generation to data management, anomaly detection, to data transformation, to reporting, et cetera. The idea behind this agentic AI platform is to not sell the agents built by us. We want to empower the industry to build their own agents in a enterprise grade platform capacity. So we have this platform that allows building new agents, subscribing or hiring agents from the marketplace, as well as putting one agent in collaboration with another agent or the human and building these end-to-end orchestration that can support various different types of business processes or clinical processes in the context of clinical research. So this platform is designed keeping in mind of various aspects of observability, security, scalability, interoperability, and integrations. I mean, we want to embrace the data ecosystem that we see around. We want to be able to interoperate with them. We want to make it user friendly for users to create their own agents as well as interact with the agentic output, whether it's an insight or the recommendation, and take an action based on that in a more guided fashion. So this platform is more like a multi-agent digital ecosystem, and it is here to change this clinical research operating model as we just talked about.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much for providing some of the information on the differentiators. And I'd actually like to ask a little bit more just towards this on seeing if you can walk us through how Maxis AI's agents are enhancing risk monitoring and patient safety in particular.
Interesting. So as we see in current way of risk monitoring, it's more reactive. There are systems that operate on data collection or data curation. Once they have somewhat quality data that are analyzable, then there are risk-based algorithms deployed to determine the quality risk or operational risk and provide insight to the end users to understand where the trial risk profile is. And based on that, users have to interpret and make decisions on imminent or near-term or the long-term risk and take mitigation strategy in action. So it's very stepwise, sequential, manual process that often has point solutions deployed in that. And this way of reacting to the risk can pose a challenge in form of bigger risk, because time involved in detecting the risk to taking action on the risk is pretty long. Cycle time is pretty long. So what Maxis AI does with the agentic approach, we have taken control over all these operational tasks, and we have handed those tasks over to agents. So agents are able to continuously scan the data across systems like EDCs and labs and identify the patterns or the deviations or the anomalies that can potentially cause quality risk or any kind of operational risk within the conduct of clinical trial. And we have agents that scores the risk profile of the clinical trial on a continuous basis. Along with that, there are agents who are recommending the actions that one should take to mitigate the risk in real time. So imagine there are multiple workers working for human behind the scene on a continuous basis 24/7. So user, when they log into our platform, they have readily available insight or they are alerted for situation where they need to react to certain situation on a timely basis. So this system not only offers proactive decision-making approach, but also it supports guided action plan. So agents will guide you what actions you can take on a given scenario to mitigate the risk, how you can inform particular site or particular CRO or particular system owner to correct certain data point or mitigate certain aspect of the delays in the enrollment and make required adjustment in your processes to mitigate the risk. So ideally, you can imagine with this kind of platform, users of the system are becoming more strategic, more aware of where their clinical trials are and how they can keep the arms around that to control potential risk, steer the course of conduct, and be able to make the clinical trial operations on time, efficient, as well as expected for the desired outcome.
Thank you so much for that. That was a great answer and very exciting as well. So, Moulik, one question that I would like to ask is, what are some common myths that you would like to debunk about agentic AI that may be out there?
That's a great question. So AI, I mean, it is very fast evolving technology with the launch of Gen AI, ChatGPT in 2022 to where we are right now. Technology has advanced very fast, and there are a lot of incremental updates coming, a lot of new LLMs coming, and a lot of different ways to eliminate different tasks in a generative, agentic manner. Those kind of new ways of working are being built into these LLMs and generative skills. Now, what's happening is when there is a fast-paced technological advancement, people often have less ability to learn and adapt to the technology or come to the acceptance of this change, fast-moving change. So keeping up to the pace of this advancement is a major issue with the industry. Consumer-wise, individual consumers are able to keep up to the pace, but enterprise, being the larger enterprise, they can't move that fast, and that's where a lot of things fall through the crack because of lack of awareness, lack of understanding, lack of knowledge around how the technology works. So just yesterday, I was in a discussion that we were talking about how AI is becoming more like a new normal and how we want to come to the acceptance of this new normal. And we were debating on how every company has stark differences in their approaches towards AI. There is a top-down and bottom-up approach, and the top-down thinking around AI initiatives, products, or investments, they are largely risk-oriented discussions or more like hesitant approach with many caveats towards different myths that we want to talk about. And there is a bottom layer, which is boiling very fast. The bottom layer involves a lot of individual contributors who are out there experimenting with different tools in a individual capacity, building different kind of POC. And we see that is moving very fast in a consumption manner. So there is a gap from top down and bottom up. And we see that continuously in our industry currently. So that has resulted into very common myth that we identified that I would like to debunk today. Uh, People seem to think that agentic AI means autonomous. It's like self-driving car, right? Without any human involvement. But that's not true. I mean, the way we position and where we can use agentic AI is obviously you can do it in autonomous manner, but it also offers a lot of flexibility to bring and improve the collaboration, bring human in the loop for key decision making around ethics, around certain prioritization of the course correction or risk mitigation. You can always bring human in the loop approach and build an agentic AI application that keeps human oversight on a continuous basis. So it's not an autonomous process at all the time. There is a potential, there is a possibility, but it's in our control when to use it in autonomous manner or when to keep it into collaborative manner. Second important thing that we want to debunk today is everybody seems to think that AI is risky and untrustworthy. Well, I mean, LLM has its own training data, and agentic AI uses LLM's intelligence to make certain decisions. But at the end of the day, LLMs also offer sufficient opportunity for us to fine tune them with sufficient training around our business context and improve the decision making and reliability on the information supplied by this technology. With the right governance and security guardrails and audit trails and human oversight, we feel that risk and untrustworthiness myth can easily be debunked and managed in enterprise setup. And third most important thing that we often hear is AI will eliminate jobs. I mean, that's not true. Historically, we have gone through many industrial revolutions, and each transformation has definitely eliminated certain jobs, but has given a lot more opportunities for new types of roles and new types of jobs. And same thing we are seeing here with AI and agentic AI. Roles are becoming more strategic now. When you give away your operational burden in the hands of this technology, your ability to think beyond a specific scenario is unleashed. And you can think more strategic, more in control. You can drive better operations, better data management, better strategies for risk mitigation, as well as potential submission-oriented outcome optimization. So roles are definitely changing, but jobs not being eliminated.
Thank you for debunking a few myths today for us. And one final question. For a clinical trial team wanting to integrate agentic AI today and look into agents, where would you advise that they start?
So this is another very interesting question, right? There is when you see a lot of discussions around AI and agentic AI, we see this the FOMO, fear of missing out, and we are observing that everywhere. Everyone feels that they're missing out of this opportunity and they want to embark onto AI, agentic AI initiatives. But as we see this FOMO opening the door for agentic AI, the moment we start talking about use cases, it closes the door because the industry is not prepared with the right use cases, the prioritization around how to measure the use case based value realization. And that kind of discussion can potentially drag their ability to adapt AI faster. And that's where I want to come back to this top-down approach on prioritization, risk mitigation, safety, security, ethics, compliance, and there is a bottom that is boiling with hundreds of POCs. If we can connect these two approaches in a manner that top-down thinking transforms towards risk-based proof of value acceptance. Or not all the proof of values are going to be 100%, but we can accept realization of the value in a risk-based manner. And that can potentially pivot current POCs to the production or late-stage pilot and potential value gain. And that's when you can start absorbing more and more use cases around first success that you realize through this technology. If we continue to stay into perfect use case, if we continue to stay within this denial stage that technology is not ripe for adoption, then it will never be the time you are going to adopt fully into production capacity, even for low-hanging opportunities. So one needs to move the needle from pilot to production for available POCs that have showcased certain value and accept those value in a risk-based manner by keeping certain guardrails, certain conditions and security parameter around it. And that's when industry can start moving for agentic AI adoption. Some of my recommendations that I would like to make is always start small but scale fast, and always focus on high impact use cases as opposed to thinking about very small generative skills. Because you want to build reusable capabilities all the way. And once you build once, you can replicate it across. Second is always think of APIs. You don't want to build everything yourself. Take advantage of this wider ecosystem of APIs and modular systems that can allow you to build fast. And third, but most important thing is data strategy. I mean, data strategy beats the data volume. If you have high quality data, accessibility, and governance, then clean data can beat your big data strategy at any time. You don't need big data to train the system. You need clean and good governance around it. Culture is another important ingredient that one needs to focus on. Culture can make it or break it. If your team is not trained enough, they are not empowered with experimentation, and there is a continuous gap between the tech and the business, then culture is not ripe for agentic AI adoption. Lastly, think about platforms. Don't think of this technology as a minor project and continue to extend the project. You want to think about a platform strategy and build capabilities that can scale across multiple such use cases and geographies in a channel manner.
Great. Thank you so much, Moulik. And I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to you for sharing such valuable insights on how Maxis AI's agents are revolutionizing clinical trials. Your visionary leadership and dedication to innovation in the life sciences is truly shining through. And it's been a pleasure having your valuable insight on the podcast today. So thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. Thanks for being here.
Okay.
Stop recording.